Thank you, Mr Speaker. Mr Speaker, my question's to the Minister for Housing. A secret internal RBA memo says that migration policy is a, and I quote, main way that the government influences the housing market. Now, this government's brought in a record 1.4 million migrants, so isn't it the truth that Labor's migration policies have made it harder?
Order.
The
member will begin. Order. Members on my right, whatever's being across the chamber will cease immediately. I don't know what was being said, but we're not going to have interjections. Just as the member for Melbourne was shown the respect, the member for Macpherson is going to be given the same courtesy again, because I couldn't hear the question. So if everyone can just control themselves while questions are being asked on both sides, the House will benefit from that action. The member for Macpherson will begin his question again.
Thank you, Speaker. Speaker, my question's to the Minister for Housing. A secret internal RBA memo says that migration policy is a, and I quote, main way that the government influences the housing market. Now, this government's brought in a record 1.4 million migrants, so isn't it the truth that Labor's migration policies have made it harder for Australians, including new Australians, to afford a home?
Call to the Minister for Housing, the Minister for Homelessness and the Minister for Cities.
Thanks so much, Speaker, and could I thank the member for Macpherson for his question. It's actually a really important question and I'm glad he's asked it of me. Speaker, migration is a piece of the puzzle here, and that is exactly why our government has acted to bring migration down. This is the detail that seems to get lost with those opposite, Speaker, that migration is now almost half what it reached after its post-COVID high.
Order.
Speaker, now, if I can say really respectfully to those opposite, the main game here is we've got to build more homes for Australians. For 40 years, our country has not been building enough homes, and those opposite can laugh and guffaw and play politics all they like.
Immediately.
Those opposite can laugh and guffaw all they like, Speaker. I encourage them to do it. Opposition's a very frustrating time. I completely understand. But the truth is we've got to take this problem seriously, and the serious answer is that we've got to build, build, build. Now, Speaker, that is why our government has the boldest and most ambitious housing policy that a Commonwealth government has had for 70 years. $47 billion, Speaker, and the main goal and the main gain is building, building, building. And I just say, again respectfully to those opposite, that it takes a little bit of moxie to be coming into this parliament and asking me as Housing Minister questions about the housing crisis that those opposite played a very significant hand in creating for our country. Now, Speaker,
Order. Members on my left, the member was heard in silence to give him respect. I'm asking the same respect shown to the minister as well. It's a two-way street.
Speaker, there's a really simple and inarguable truth here. Had those opposite not sat on the Treasury benches for 9 years doing absolutely nothing about this problem, we would be in a much better position to address it.
Has the minister concluded her answer? Resume your seat for a sec. We'll hear from the manager on a point of order.
Yeah, thanks, Speaker. It goes to relevance. This didn't mention the opposition once, this question. It was about the 1.4 million migrants you've let in. So can you bring the minister back to the question, please?
Order. The Minister for Housing, the Leader of the House.
Just to the point of order, the total figure that they referred to, the biggest year that led to that figure, was entirely under their settings. And therefore—
The manager on a point of order.
Speaker, that is an abuse of standing. It's not true. You brought them all in.
Resume your seat. Just as the member for Flinders abused the standing orders, both of you then just abused the standing orders. Order. So if everyone can just follow the standing orders, we won't be put in that position. The manager was correct. The minister wasn't asked about the opposition's policies. She was asked about a figure and the impact that has in regarding a memo that is floating around regarding that topic. So she won't be able to talk about the opposition's policies because she wasn't asked about the opposition policies. The Minister has the call.
Thanks so much, Speaker. This is an important piece of the puzzle. Again, I respect that you asked it, but unfortunately the member finds himself in a political party that played a significant role in bringing us to where we are today. And, Speaker, our government is actually standing up and doing something about it.
The Minister's